We are the only school in the world to put two moonwalking astronauts into space as members of the Apollo program. Other than that, we've got 51 great acres of waterfront land here with sprawling classrooms, green trees, just a great community of students. What they call a college preparatory school, and that comes with a lot of ground. It's a very big word. So we offer a lot of different academics. We offer traditional level academics. We offer honors, but we also offer around 19 AP classes, advanced placement. We also, in grades 11 and 12, offer up to 29 college credits through a dual enrollment program that we have triple kind of qualified or approved through University of South Florida, through St. Leo University, and through what's called St. Petersburg College just down the street from us. The scope of academics available to children is A to Z. And I think that really gives us a very broad scope as far as what types of colleges our students might be matriculating to. Often the schools, the colleges that our children are accepted to, and the scholarship offers that they are offered or awarded at some of these prestigious universities, people always want to know, is it Ivy, is it Harvard, is it NYU, and it is. But also throughout the journey of the child here, and our high school starts in grade 8 at this time. Throughout the high school journey, our job is to empower those children with selecting the right college, selecting the right career path, selecting the right major. And some schools might start that process in grade 11. And in our opinion, that's kind of too late. We start it right away. And the way we do that is we use the community of seniors to help be those leaders, to help trickle down some of those thoughts and impressions and inspirations to their peers through that collaboration, through some good conversations, and also through presentation. So we'll get those students on stage and they'll say, Jeff, I want to go to the University of Oregon and I want to study X, Y, and Z. And we keep a track on that, because what that does in a leadership culture here is that tricks those 8th and 9th grade students to be thinking outside the box. Wow, I should be thinking about that now. Where is that? Is it cold or is it hot? Is it big or is it small? Do they have good sports or small? Those are the big questions that really, really play a big role in these families and in these children selecting the right colleges to apply to. And then it's our job to take that hope and wish and get them where they're going, or tell them, if you really want to get to the University of fill in the blank, you really need to focus more on your maths or on your English skills or on your language abilities. And those are the pieces, those are the limiting factors often are pushing students away from some of those other schools at other boarding schools. I think our college placement team, our academic team do a great job identifying that small group of colleges that this particular child should apply to and this particular child should apply to. Remember, I mentioned earlier the diversity of our students' interest. And I think that's where we're able to really get the most out of that journey here. The fact that we have 5 years of high school or 4 years of high school for children, a lot of families will say, oh, we want to come there in junior year. And they have high expectations for those last 2 years. Start them early. Grade 9 and grade 10 are hugely important years for students to get those big marks on their records, to get those big translated grades on their U.S. transcripts, to get into some of those top U.S. universities. So we've been a boarding school forever. We just recently, about 30 years ago, introduced the day students, the students that live locally here. There's always been a good community of students interacting, socializing, experiencing together. The internationals and domestics, it's seamless. We do not have an overwhelming majority of our international community from 1 or 2 or 3 countries. They're very much spread out. So for example, in Asia, we have maybe 5 or 8 Chinese per year. We'll have 5 or 8 or 12 or so Vietnamese. We'll have 3 or 4 Japanese. In Latin America, we'll have students from Peru and Brazil and Mexico and Spain. But for example, in a school that's around 480 students at the moment, I might only have 20 or 25 Spanish speakers. I might only have 10 Vietnamese speakers. I might only have 8 Brazilian, Portuguese speakers. And so what I think that really says is that we pride ourselves on spreading ourselves out a little bit more, because that's where you get more of that experiential collaboration. Now, post-COVID, we are still rebuilding the cohesive nature between those day students that live locally and those boarding students. What does that mean? We want those day students to go on the weekend trips to the mall or SeaWorld or Busch Gardens or theme parks or sporting events or museums or volunteers. And each year that we've gone further from that kind of COVID timestamp, we've rebuilt more and more of that community through sport and through activity and through social connection for our students. So I'd like to say there's a very seamless transition between those domestic and those international students. And I think that it also starts with that leadership component that we have here. Example, this weekend, we'll have our returning leadership group coming in a day before the new students. They are here to onboard the new students properly and appropriately. And then the returning students come back the next day. What we're trying to do is spend as much time as we can with those new students so they feel at home and they feel comfortable when the previous children come back the next couple of days. I think that's a real good way of keeping the importance on the new kids, the new students we have, so they don't get lost in the big shuffle of the 480 kids. I think the most notable fun fact about our campus is that we are the only school in the world to put 2 moonwalking astronauts into space as members of the Apollo program. The first American in space was a gentleman by the name of Rear Admiral Alan Shepard. He was the first American in space. He attended here many, many years ago, obviously. And then about 12 years later, we had another gentleman by the name of Charlie Duke, Brigadier General Charlie Duke, who landed on the moon. Charlie is still alive and well. He lives in South Carolina, is very involved with our school, and often will meet with our students on typically about an every other year basis. Other than that, we've got 51 great acres of waterfront land here with sprawling classrooms, green trees, just a great community of students. So I think those are some unique fun facts.